You're listening to the Spiritual Highways podcast with Leigh Ann and Michelle.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I do feel like we need to touch base from the last episode.
We're backing it up a little?
Backing it up.
Back it up.
I'm not gonna bust out in song like a really,
back it up.
Yeah, there's actually a more current song, but I
would not know that one.
It's totally okay. I probably shouldn't. But anyways, and we don't need to go all the way back, to the float tank because we haven't gotten
there yet.
Yeah, we are gonna get there. It was our
mission failed.
Right. Our schedules
haven't been aligned.
Right. So we definitely will.
We're going to do it.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward. A little scared, but I'm still looking forward to it.
Don't be scared.
Well, I was talking in the last episode. We ended it with something I had read watched on YouTube about your thoughts and meditation, and I kind of wanted to back up because I felt like I rushed it, and I also needed to give props to Mr. All right, I'm gonna botch his name, but I will try. But Jiddu Krishnamurti, right? Namurti. He is kind of like a yoga guru, but more into the history and philosophy. I mean, obviously the whole gamut. But anyways,
he's been around for a while.
Yes. And so, anyways, that's kind of where it was coming from. A lot of what he said resonated with me, and I wanted to share it. And I feel like I rushed it the last time, so I kind of wanted to touch base on it.
Okay.
A lot of people ask me, either after they've received a message or, even those that have not, say, well, what about meditation? Do you meditate? And for those of you who know me, it's kind of a miracle that you would think that I would be able to meditate, because I'm kind of all over the place, and I'm a little ADD, just a tad. and so the fact that I'm able to meditate at all is pretty amazing. So to kind of go back to there, that is something that frequently comes up, and it was also a big part of opening myself up to and accepting my gift. Had I not learned to meditate, I would not have been able to.
Build upon it.
Right. It's definitely something. Right, and it's something I still, go back on daily. And but anyways, in this YouTube video, I think that the title even was "What is meditation?" And no, excuse me, I'm so sorry. It was how to meditate. And I found it very intriguing. His answer was not how to meditate. He said, you should ask yourself, what is meditation? Because whenever you find out what meditation and learning what meditation is, you will have achieved how to meditate. And yeah. So how about that knowledge bomb right there? Thank you, Jiddu. But all meditation is a form of prayer, silence,
connecting.
Yes, absolutely. So it can be whatever you want it to be. But so I'm not going to go into that whole. I mean, I could talk about that for forever myself. But what stemmed from that was he talked about your thoughts and how the whole how it got to thoughts was, of course, that's quieting your thoughts and being alone with yourself. But he goes on into the talk. It was almost 2-hour talk. So I mean, obviously, it went deep. But he talks about your thoughts and where thoughts come from. And he said something. I'm gonna repeat what I said from the last episode. But he says in the episode that our everything that is from every painting to every piece of music that was composed, and of course I'm a lover of the arts, so that's what I'm going to go first. But all the way up to the Declaration of Independence and everything that we are, all stemmed from one thought. I don't know. I never looked at it. Does that seem strange to you?
Well,
like,
I guess I just never gave it any thought.
Huh. No pun intended.
No pun intended. But yeah, I mean, everything has to start somewhere.
Right. And I mean, it's just one little thought. Somebody had to think of that. And that's how we've built all of humanity and civilization.
When you think about all the thoughts you have in a day.
Correct.
The ones that you give life to is your reality. So these paintings that you see, out of all the thoughts you had in a day, the ones we see on the wall were the ones that you went, okay, I'm going to paint this.
Correct.
Or I'm going to write this. Or
let's do this.
Yeah, or let's do this. And,
right.
And when you weigh it against everything that goes through your brain,
right,
in a moment, let alone an entire day,
mm-hmm.
and the ones you pick to make your reality or make what you see or others can see,
mm-hmm.
now we're getting deep.
Yeah.
Because it's not just seeing artwork or
right.
seeing poetry, which I'm going to touch base on in a little bit for
okay.
you.
Oh, gosh.
I know. But it's really what other people see in us, like what we show to the world.
That's true.
It's just like that now. The more we're talking about it now, I'm like, wait a minute, there's more.
Right,
yeah,
but there's more.
But there's more.
But it's like, I'm a big proponent, like I always say, mind is the builder. Mind is the builder. Thank you, Edgar Casey. The mind is the builder, but I just think how things would be different if those words were never spoken or those thoughts were never put into action. Then that made me think, too, the thoughts that we have and again, we're repeating, but I think it's important. The thoughts that we have in our head don't always translate the same when we verbalize them.
That is so true.
And yes, because I know even when I write, I can't get it. You said that the last episode too, and you said that it could be frustrating, and it absolutely is. But it's funny how different those things are. What's in your mind versus what you put into reality. It goes back to what are you bringing to life. So whenever you say the mind is the builder and you're building all these thoughts, what are you creating? So it brings a whole new light to negative thought patterns and what they bring to life. Just as a beautiful piece of artwork or an important document or a law that was written, all of those stemmed from a thought. How do negative thoughts
it's just like
come into play with that?
The image that popped in my head is a rose.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice the fragrance? Do you notice the color of the petals? Or are you focused on the thorn?
Right.
Like,
that's a good analogy.
What are you focusing on? And sometimes I think in negative situations we get so hyper focused on the thorns
mm-hmm. that
we miss the fragrance and the color.
And then before you know it, you've got a whole rose bush full of thorns.
Full of thorns.
Right, because that's what. So whenever it just made me think deeper. Whenever I say, and especially coming off of the awful week that I had last week, I was creating a really icky. Like, my thought patterns was creating
it just was building and building and building.
It really was until I shifted my mindset that's what I was creating. So just as something great can be created, a negative thought that we verbalize can really take on a whole new life. So I don't. I know I'm kind of.
No. But I mean, it's interesting that we had to backpedal because you had a week where, and then you kind of purged yourself of that, and so now you've had this week of reflection.
Yeah. And
now you're like, okay, how do I keep from going that way? Because, yeah. And so what am I going to focus on?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I think I need to learn that too. I mean, because
everybody does.
When you said we need to talk about it again, I'm like, okay. And then now we're talking about, I'm like, wait. This just got really deep. Like, at first I was like, okay, let's touch base on it again,
mm-hmm.
whatever. Mm-hmm. And then now I'm like, whoa.
Right.
I'm seeing all the layers to it.
Right. Well, I mean, I think to me, it gave me a picture of how negative thoughts can manifest into actual reality. Yeah. Because it's like
a dirty snowball.
Yeah. But so what do you want to put into action? And so the fact that what's in our brain looks so different. The example I used was like, doing calls or remembering a song. how it's different. That's why it needs to be said. And what I'm getting at is goals and like your soul's purpose and like what do you want to achieve. So all of these greatness, all of these paintings and documents and all these things that we were talking about, all of those came in to fruition by a thought. So in order to make them happen, you have to get them out of your head and somewhere. Right. And the first step to that is verbalizing them and saying what you want. You're giving it life.
Can I just play
a
little devil's advocate here, how that works? I don't know. If you're unsure about saying it, is journaling it the same as saying it? Writing it down, is that the same as
Yes, that's even better.
it?
That was going to be the next thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead.
Way to go, Michelle.
Sorry.
Roll it back. No, but it's so true. But a lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna think it and I'm gonna just make it happen. I'm gonna manifest it in my mind. No. You've got to give it some life because it's in your mind. It only exists to you. You've got to give it life, and life is for everyone to enjoy. Okay. So yes, verbalize it, talk about it, write it down, because that's giving it something physical. Okay. You know, I guess one could say maybe a voice could be a physical attribute. I don't know, but to me, yes, writing it down and knowing that this is going to happen. That's how things happen, because you would never be able to enjoy a Picasso if it was never.
If he had never stopped to put his thought on canvas,
paper or
paper or wherever.
Yes. So that is how profound that lesson was for me.
And being mindful of what you put on paper. Like sometimes I think journaling is good to get out the good and the bad. Just so the bad, you can write it and let it go. Uh-huh. But then the good, you can see it and go, yes, I want more of this. I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to share this with others.
You know, I struggle with that because sometimes I don't want to write how I did. I think we had this discussion between you and I.
Okay.
That one day I was writing and I said, I want to write exactly how I feel, but it's to get it out. But at the same time, I was so scared. I'm such a believer of like your thoughts create your reality that I'm like, oh, I don't want to make it real. Like I don't want it to come true. So I'm like, okay, do I just end it with, by the way, this is just a release. This is just a release.
But those are the ones that you can shred. You can burn it. Yes.
You know what?
It's very releasing.
Spirit often has that is one of the things that they have. I guess you can call it a treatment in how to deal with loss and pain. Is to write letters to your loved ones or whatnot, and to get all of it out. And so it seems so cliche to say write something and burn it, but I did that.
But no,
there is
I've
something with.
Too.
But I'm going to take it a step further. Not only burning it, right? Not even
in a controlled environment. People, be safe.
Oh. Yeah, there's Michelle putting a bow on it. I'm like, I don't care.
Light it up.
Yeah, use a candle. It doesn't matter. But lighting. Listen to me. But to burn it. But not only burn it, but the day that I was actually doing this, it rained, and then I watched the rain take those ashes and like it washed them away, and then you couldn't see, and it was in rock, so it wasn't a controlled environment. But to see that those, not even the ashes were there anymore, I was like, oh, that did something. Because even seeing the ashes, it's like, yeah, they're still there. But then when it was gone and then there was like zero remnants, that felt pretty amazing. Like, that was great.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, I felt like I needed to just touch on that. I just thought it was cool.
No, it's cool.
Really
I'm glad you did, because we really didn't talk in depth about it at all. And now it's like, I'm seeing so many layers with that.
Oh, yeah.
That are like,
different facets of like how things can.
Speaking of writing.
Oh, gosh.
Let's talk a little bit about prose.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, my goodness. I am such I love it. Prose is an app that I write. Like, I dabble in poetry and just like, I don't know. It's just another.
You dabble? Are you kidding me?
Another outlet.
She more than dabbles, people.
Oh, I love it. Well, it's not everybody wants to hear, the whole. I can go deep into the rabbit hole. And so that's not for everybody, but it's like, for me, I've got to be able to share it, because if I can't share it, then what is it? And there's some things that are just for me.
Right.
But there are some things that I feel like everybody can gain something from. So I found this there's a website, but it's also an app. And it's called Prose, Prose, and you can follow people, and it's also like you can stream it down to like what
like
is your
topics?
niche? Yes, what only is your topic, but what is your
Let me see. Show me.
I'll show you.
Okay, there's authors, so you can follow authors. Wait. How do
and
we
then
follow
you can-
you?
Oh, well, here it is. There's different portals. So you can do like poetry, free verse, fiction, micro poetry, haiku. So it
Gotcha.
comedy.
Genres.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Genres. So you can go into what you are interested in, and you can follow people, and it's just everyday Joes
cool.
like me.
So how do we follow Leigh Ann?
If you'd like to follow me, okay. I feel
know.
I feel naked at the
I
moment. But it's under Abstract Soul.
Oh, yeah.
Capital A Soul, and then Soul, but it's all one word.
Capital Abstract Soul.
Okay.
On the Prose app.
Yeah, they got it. Thanks. Okay. I didn't know we were going there. I just was gonna but I'm enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's really cool to be able to, look at what others write. And they also have challenges. Like they'll give you like a prompt, and you can sign up for these challenges. I think you can get money for some of them. I don't know.
That's cool.
So it's neat. So anyways, I like it. So we're just going to throw it.
yeah.
And we're not getting paid for this, so it's got to be good. So, yeah.
No, I just thought that was really cool.
It
That
really
you've
is.
got followers. Like,
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
I was proud. I was excited. I didn't, I didn't do it because I wanted, like, that was a,
No,
I wanted to put it out there. It didn't matter.
You found an outlet to put it somewhere.
Yeah, so-
And then you're like, hey, look, I got some followers. And then you didn't talk about it again. So I'm sorry that I brought it up.
That's okay.
In the middle of a recording.
That's okay.
But I think it's very cool.
Thanks.
And I'm sure that our listeners would want to see your poetry.
Well, thank you. And that's for people, not just poetry, but it's for all forms of writing. There's people with novels and journals and all kinds of stuff, long form. So if you're into writing, check it out. It's good release. So, what about you? I know that we've had a theme for you here lately.
Well, I could tell you guilt, overwhelming feelings, all those things. It's just been, I know. I mean, I hate to be a downer because we're like, yay, poetry.
Well,
Guilt.
That's so funny.
Like, I'm like Debbie Downer right now.
No,
Like,
you're not.
well,
You don't want to hit people with your car.
No,
so
I
there's
don't.
plus.
Like, yeah, my rage. Well, it's interesting. Okay, if you were going to be vulnerable, I guess I'm going to be vulnerable too.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so a couple of months ago, I was dealing with rage.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I asked God, show me what to do. Show me. Like, why am I feeling this way? And 3 nights in a row, I dreamed I was possessed.
What? You did not have this conversation with
I
me.
did tell you this.
No.
Well, I told somebody this.
You did not
Probably
tell
one
me
of my
this.
clients.
I probably would have remembered if you would have
Okay.
told me that you were
For
possessed.
3 nights in a row. But I didn't wake up scared. I just woke up like, well, that was weird. And so I knew that I shouldn't be scared. And on the 3rd morning, I woke up and I went, oh my gosh, I'm possessed by rage.
We did not. Wait, I need a moment. Because, like.
I really didn't tell you this?
You really? I'm just kind of. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm
sorry,
naked
guys.
right now. Not really, but I'm
She's-
feeling vulnerable and you didn't even know.
Especially with the
to?
top. Not only did I not know, but the subject matter at hand. I would have thought that I would have been your go-to person.
I know, which is why I'm like surprised you. Like, I thought you were my go-to person. Are you sure you just
No,
forgot?
I'm pretty sure you were possessed.
I was not possessed.
You were obviously.
No.
So, anyways.
Rude. Anyway.
But that makes
on the
total
third
sense. I'm
morning,
glad you figured it
wait,
out.
on the 3rd morning when I woke up, I named it, and I opened my eyes and I said out loud, "Oh my gosh, I'm possessed by rage."
Wow.
And then it just kind of fluttered away. Like it just kind of like fluttered out of, like the Infinity Wars, like where everybody flutters away. Like it just kind of like dissipated. And I really have not felt that.
Well, you figured it out.
I figured it out. And now, I mean, sure, I get frustrated and, you know, normal stuff, but not really just this strong emotion, intense. And it was a very vulnerable moment to have those dreams, but I asked for them.
Yeah.
And then, but then I was able to name it. And I felt like 3 days in a row, I felt like 3 is a number that like makes you pay attention.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah.
Wow.
That was my rage moment.
Wow.
And I don't know why I didn't think to share it last week. I don't know why it came up now. There you go.
That's when it was supposed to come out.
Little truth nugget for you. I'm really shocked that you're not the person I told.
Not as shocked as I am. I'm kind of hurt over here.
Please don't
be
hurt.
No.
No.
But you know what it is that you didn't need that from me. Like, you needed to figure that out on your own.
Oh, maybe.
So sometimes the answer isn't right in front of you, and it can't be handed to you.
Well, that's true.
It has to be found within yourself.
You have to experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And although that sometimes sucks, that you have to do the work, and not, get a shortcut.
Yeah.
You had to figure it out, because I promise you there was much more.
Oh, it was huge, like, aha moment. And, like, I physically felt it leave my body.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I mean, you're supposed to learn. That's what life is about.
Yeah.
That's why it can't always be rainbows and butterflies all the time.
I know, and I really do like rainbows and bunny rabbits, and butterflies, too.
Okay, I was about to say,
I like butterflies, too, but...
Yeah, bunny rabbits.
But, you know, but I do want to, since I took us off on a side note here, but it was funny. It was an interesting conversation I had with a friend a couple of days ago about guilt.
Okay.
And so we kind of came up, like just in talking, we were kind of laughing about it. She was telling me a story that she overreacted to, and she went to bed, and she's like, I woke up the next morning and I still felt bad. And I was like, yep. That's your barometer of whether or not you should feel bad. Like because a lot of times, like we have things that happen in life, like if we have a argument with a loved one, or, with your child or whatever, and you wake up the next day and you've forgotten it happened. Mm-hmm. Like you wake up and you forget about it, and you go on and you go, oh wait, that happened. Mm-hmm. Well, then it's probably over and you move on, right?
Right.
But if you're still thinking about it, you either need to circle back around, or maybe apologize for your role in it. So I feel like the sleeping on something, and if it's still with you the next morning, is probably a good barometer of, is this guilt really mine?
Right.
Is it something I really need to hang on to?
And is it
or work through?
And does it even exist?
Right.
Because I know some things are just, it's just because you're tired or grumpy or had a crappy
and usually
day.
the things you make up in your head, you're not holding on to them the next day.
Right.
In fact, you're making up new stuff the next day you feel guilty about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
just thought that was a little God moment between the two of us, where she and just figure out, if I still wake up with it, I'm probably...
That's a really smart thing to do, especially
just like a barometer.
Yeah, I totally should do that, because I'm very impulsive. And I guess this is to a fault. Seriously, like when I feel something, I need it to exit my body. I need to share it and get it out. But that can be a good thing, and that can be a really bad thing. Like. It depends on what
don't know which way we're going, people.
Right? You never know, and you might could get both of them all at the same time. Who knows? But but taking that time out would probably, I could really benefit myself from that. Just hold up,
take a step back, breathe. Yeah.
Because we won't go there, but yeah, I think that would be. But it makes a lot of sense, because like what you said, does it really matter? Is it really going to affect me tomorrow? Right. That makes sense. I like it.
So, just sometimes it's good to sleep on things and
So next time you're in the you're fighting with a family member, or somebody just, I'm going to call you tomorrow and we're going to finish this conversation after a good night's sleep. Okay? All right. And then, you know, if you never receive that phone call or you never call back, okay. That's a good idea. I don't feel guilty as much as I used to anymore.
That's good. I still feel guilty about a lot of things. And I think a lot of people feel guilt.
I bet you they do.
Guilt from stuff from years ago, guilt from stuff from last week. I think you just hang on to it and you let it fester inside, and then it could come out in a way that it didn't even start. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, how you express it isn't even how it originated. You know what I mean?
No, I do.
And so I think we all should be mindful of, okay, what's my driver? Because if guilt's driving you, you really need to get a new driver. Because that driver needs to go home.
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking if there's something that, and I mean, I'm going to have to check in with myself. But honestly, I'm not feeling guilt of any nature.
Well, I think a lot of it I create myself.
You do. She's like, Leigh Ann, I just envision like you being upset with me. It's like Michelle, it's all
my
good.
rabbit hole is very deep.
Yeah. But hey, it's okay. It's totally okay.
I am not alone in that.
Which
is why I'm very comfortable giving that a voice, because I know I am not the only one with a little hamster wheel that goes off the rails.
Oh, well, I'm not saying that I don't have a hamster wheel that goes off the rails.
Just for different reasons.
Yeah, just for different reasons.
So I'm guilt and you're rage.
Yeah. That is such an accurate...
Guilty rage.
Yeah, there you go. But she takes care of everything else for me. Why not take care of the guilt, too? Why not? I mean...
You just hold that. Since you're already holding guilt, here's some more. And you can hold my rage.
Exactly.
Actually, mine's gone, though, so...
That's great. Yes. I'm still, look, I don't know if y'all know, like, it's thrown me for a loop not knowing that. But no,
I'm so surprised.
Me too. But you know what? Go back, I'm going to say it's because you needed to work through it. We all have things that we need to work through. And by all means, we never stop learning and growing and figuring stuff out. I'm still figuring stuff out. I'm kind of retracting, actually. I'm starting from the beginning.
But you have to.
Yeah, but that's what better way to start?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can't complain with where I'm at.
No, I think it's important for some self-reflection and...
Yeah. You know what's funny is the stuff that you think you're finished with it's like, oh, I'm done with that. That's nothing. Then it starts coming up and you're like, wow. It's like reading a book once and then... reading it again and getting something completely different from it each time.
Yes, I agree with that.
So
I have a question for you.
Oh.
Because this happens to me quite a bit.
Okay.
Quite a bit. And I know I'm not the only one.
I don't know where this is even going.
I know, but I'm thinking I need a big answer for this.
Oh, no pressure.
Right? Okay, as soon as I give advice to someone or be proud of something that maybe I've become aware of, or if I brag on somebody, then either that person then disappoints me or I end up like messing up the thing that I'm just like, yeah, I just figured out how to do this. And then I mess it up. And so it's like, I'm just not even like, why am I sharing? Because then the things, they fall apart.
No, I don't look at it like that.
Okay, that's why I need my big answer.
Okay. I don't look at it like that because I feel like once you're ready for the next level, you're ready to test it. It's kind of like you've received this award. All right, I'm trying to go on the fly and like think of an example.
I know, I'm blindsiding you
it's
here.
getting there, right? But it's coming. You've gotten this. You've learned this thing. Okay, you've gotten this, or this person's impressed you, or you're enjoying the fruits of
my labor, yes,
of this
or
subject.
Situation, yeah.
Right. Well, it's kind of like ordinary versus extraordinary time. You can't stay in that euphoric moment. What did you learn from it? So it's now we've given you this great aha moment. Now I'm gonna step away and see what you learned from it, or see how much faith you really have in that person, or that I'm going to challenge you, because everything's got to be a challenge.
So it's going to be my reaction.
Yeah, like you can grow a plant, but to keep it alive is the challenge. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Whatever.
So, I mean, but it's that, or it could, I'm going to go a different way.
No, that totally makes sense. I'm just frustrated with myself because...
But you should not do that.
No,
I mean, that's
know.
good, because that's creating something. But at the same time, you can... I lost it, but it was going in the opposite direction. Not only what did you learn from it, but how much emphasis should have been on that. Should you have been bragging on that person, or should this been such an important thing?
I was bragging on it in a way where I could say, you know, if you do this, then you might get this in return. So try to help. I was trying to help someone else see in their life how it might help them.
So it really didn't have anything to do with you.
No, but my example was then like...
Right, but it was... You brought...
The halo got
Okay,
crooked.
wait a minute. Here's the same thing. It's the same difference of offering... I can give great advice. Great, right?
Right.
Wonderful. I'm not going to take it. And I'm probably not going to do it. Until they're like... Spirit's like, hey, Leigh Ann, I was talking to you. Hello? You know,
right.
Hello? You need to listen to yourself. So sometimes we do need it. We're not... We're offering advice, or
we need to be listening to it,
or we're saying, "Oh my gosh, this had a great
is a common
outcome."
theme, like literally in the past few episodes of listening to our own advice.
Yeah,
it keeps coming up.
Oh, I definitely do not listen to myself,
and I stand in front of a mirror all day. You would think I would be seeing my
you
reflection.
You totally
like, hello,
do.
It's right there in front of me.
Yeah, but it's kind of like you. I'll be struggling with something, and you're like, yeah, and you just say exactly what I need to hear. Even if I don't want to hear it. And it just comes like, flows like a wet river. Oh, well, yeah, you didn't see that? I'm trying to think of an example, off the top of my head, and I can't. If you can think of one, you can totally throw me under the bus. But, yeah, it's like, why didn't I think about it like that? And it came so naturally to you. Oh, you know what? I have a perfect example. A very good friend of mine, I was offering advice about having so many irons in the fire.
Irons in the fire, yeah.
Okay. So and I'm going, you just need to take one thing at a time, focus, and just put all your focus there, and stay in that present moment, and I'm giving and they're like, yeah, I get it. Okay. And I mean, then I find myself, almost verbatim, the same oh my God, I got too much stuff going on all at the same time, I can't lose. And they just flipped that right on top of me. Like,
well, you just told me.
I'm like, yeah, that's exactly. And I'm going, I did. We just had this conversation.
It was easier to tell you than to listen
I said
it
it's
for
so
me.
much easier to, figure out somebody else's sheep than your own, It's so true.
Do we have to write explicit now that you said that word?
I'm pretty sure that we can say sheep.
Beep.
I'm sorry. I will.
Beep, 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 beep.
Sorry.
It's okay.
That'll be another theme. So,
all right, guys.
Well, I hope we didn't go too much down the rabbit hole.
Well, we always go down a rabbit hole, but it's just different ones.
Yeah. Rabbit, rat, meerkat,
gopher.
What else?
I don't know.
Tunnels.
Mole.
Armadillos.
Do they tunnel? I think they just waddle.
No, they tunnel because.
Really?
Yep.
Do
you know that a possum?
Okay, now we just went down a different rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, we hope you have a great week. Bye.
You've been listening to the Spiritual Highways podcast with Leigh Ann and Michelle. Catch up on past episodes at spiritualhighways.com, on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and more.